This is history. Made up as we go along.
Welcome, everyone, to History Improv'ed, where a history expert surprises us improvisers with a historical event that we then act out on the spot. I'm Trent Edwards, along with Steve Fate. Steve, we've got another epic episode for our listeners.
Indeed, we do. Another event that, well, simply put, changed the world, and we're still feeling the effects today.
This is a pinch point for global politics and will remain so until the continents shift. Hint, hint, hint. And Steve, you got another excellent guest improviser for us, Shelley Friedman.
Yeah, Shelley is a local improviser, local to me, and we still play together from time to time. And then as far as our history expert goes, I don't think he really needs an introduction at this point. Unless, dear listener, you are new to the podcast. In that case, welcome to History Improv'ed.
Welcome, welcome.
But Matt Roberto is our expert, and he's made many appearances at this point and brought this epic topic to us that we will bestow upon you.
Matt never fails to give us something with huge ramifications.
Indeed. So here we go. Enjoy this trip to the Middle East.
Totally awesome!
All right, here we are with our improviser, Shelley Friedman.
Hi.
Yay!
Thanks for joining us, Shelley. Shelley is someone that when I started doing improv, Shelley was there. So I kind of feel like she's almost like an improv soulmate, and I wouldn't be here without her.
Aw, thank you, Steve. Yeah, okay, you're my improv soulmate too. Oh. Oh.
Should I leave? That's wonderful. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you, Trent.
Shelley,
Yes.
are you ready to make history?
I am always ready to make history, Trent.
Oh, I like that. See, positive attitude. That is why Shelley is here.
I have a yes and attitude.
All right, Steve, are you ready to open the Wayback 3000 and find our historical event for this episode?
Okay. The event. The conquest of Constantinople in 1453. The major players, Mehmed II, otherwise known as Mehmed the Conqueror, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine XI Dragases Palaiologos, or something like that.
Palaiologos? So it's Constantine Palaiologos?
I think we would be allowed to just say Emperor Constantine.
Great. Oh, I know who that is then. I know who that is. Roughly.
Well, this is Constantine the 11th, so I think the Constantine that is most notable would be the first. But
okay.
But
back in the waters.
Okay, so those two characters, that's it?
Yeah.
One is the second and one is the 11th. Okay.
1452?
1453.
Oh, I'm more of an expert in 1452. I'm gonna have to be like.
Me too.
I'm familiar with this event, but only in the scope of history, like how significant it was, not the ins and outs.
That still sounds like volunteering to lead to me.
Well, that wasn't the intent. Are you going to play the Canadian card again, Trent?
No, I can't. No, not this time. I can't play the Canadian card because this is world history. This isn't American deep dive. This is something I should probably know and do not. But that's a really big list for me. I've been to Constantinople.
Oh, there we go.
So I should know it better than I do.
You wouldn't have been to Constantinople, right?
Yes, I've been to formerly known as Constantinople.
Istanbul?
Istanbul. Yes, Istanbul. It's pretty amazing. Okay, I've got a rough idea of. I know that what it looks like, but I can't tell you anything about the happenings.
Right. Now, are you talking about what Constantinople looks like, or are you talking about what the improv we're about to do looks like?
No, not at all. I know what the city of Istanbul currently looks like, because it's kind of like going to the Alamo too, right? Like you go to the Alamo, you're like, oh, so I know there weren't these buildings here, but you have no clue what it was like.
So right now, are you just stalling, hoping that I start it?
Well, you said you know the event.
I
So
didn't say I
that's
know
for
the
sure.
event. I said I know roughly the repercussions. I know it happened, and I know the repercussions of it. Okay, I'll go.
No. This is a challenge. So, okay, I'll go for it.
Okay.
I've got nothing in mind. So here we go. This is true improv. All right. We have Audrey on sound effects. Excellent. We open on a bazaar, a man trying to corral soldiers for the coming battle.
My men. But you are not my men yet, but I hope you are going to be my man. I want you to visualize Constantinople being part of our empire. We are the true inheritors of this magnificent city. Who is with me?
Are you going to buy some saffron or what?
Yeah. My wife wanted me to pick some up. Honey, how much did you want?
I want a pinch of saffron, and I want this saffron seller. He looks like he would be a good a soldier for you, my husband, sir.
I have the bad knee. It's very bad. But I love our country. I would love to support the great Mehmed II. But
So you are saying that you have one good leg?
Oh yes, I suppose I do.
You aren't saying you have a medical exemption, are you?
I believe a bad knee would be a good exemption. No.
Do you have your card?
Your medical exemption card.
I'm really busy at the bazaar every day, so I never have time to go pick it up. I think maybe I should go get it now. How about that?
First, get our saffron, dear.
Yes.
Yes, you said a pinch? We normally sell by the pound, but you said a pinch?
No, a pound is 400 pinches.
Oh, of course. I know my business. Yes, 400 pinches. Coming right up.
In the meantime, boy, over there, boy, come here. What is your name?
Yes, sir. My name is Osmir. I am street urchin, but I have plans to become someone great one day.
And you may. Have you lifted a sword? You look kind of scrawny.
No, I'm thin. I prefer thin, but I've never picked up a sword. I don't have any money. I just try to get food.
Okay, and next to you, your name, boy.
My name is Omir. I can lift a sword, mister.
Oh, you can. You have done this.
No, but I think I can lift it. I could do anything.
I could lift it too. I bet you I could. I just never gotten the chance.
Okay, well, here you go.
Oof.
Oh, see, it's heavy.
Could I maybe be an archer?
Okay, Asmat, you are an archer. Okay, and could you give it to Omir?
There. You stuck me. Asma, you stuck me.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I tried to pull it up very fast because it is so heavy. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Ah,
this invasion is getting off on the wrong foot. Wife, please, use your medical expertise and see if you can aid this, Omir.
Yes, dear. It's just a surface scratch. Come here. Come here, Osmir. Okay. There, he's all patched up. He'd be a good soldier, darling.
Ah, excellent. I knew there was a reason why I brought you to the bazaar.
Yes. I wonder if my saffron's ready yet.
we cut to Constantine's imperial palace dressing room. Oh, crown weighs heavy. I have been worried about the Muslim invaders coming for many years, and now it seems to be coming to pass. How can we prepare ourselves to smite these ungodly invaders? Roger, my favorite crusader.
Well, as the official advisor to Constantine, we will probably need to fortify a little bit more. I know we have the walls, and they are quite thick.
Yes, very thick. I made sure of it myself.
I may be worried about the attack from the sea. I do not know that a land invasion is something that is inevitable. I have my architect here, Luis Zone. She can advise us a little bit more about the architecture of the city if we feel there are any concerns.
Oui. I am usually more concerned about an attack from the rear, if you get my drift. So, yes, so I have made the rear much thicker than the front. So, just in case.
And just to clarify, is the rear is on land side and front is ocean side?
Oui.
Okay.
Roger, I tell you, you must learn our lands and our waterways. It is not ocean. We are connected to the world, it is true. We are the center of the world, if we're honest. And that's why all the world wants what I have. I mean, what our people have. But I am your father and protector.
Well, what exactly is it you have? I mean, you have half an empire, and the other half isn't even around anymore. It's like you have a half of nothing.
Roger, why you gotta be so French? I thought we'd taught you our politeness. This is not the way you talk to a great man such as myself. If I was Mehmed, I know what I'd do to you. I'd chop your head off. But hey, I'm a enlightened king, emperor. I will not smite you because of your ignorance as a Frenchman. I will hold you accountable, however, if our defenses fall. Is our navy prepared, Roger?
In a matter of speaking, yes. I don't know why I sounded Italian there, but this...
You are well-traveled. You sometimes show off. I understand.
I am well-traveled, and yes, I sometimes do not know where I'm coming or going. But nevertheless, the ocean, the sea, the water is fortified, right? The front?
Wait. The front is fortified for the frontal attack. The back is more fortified for the rear attack. And I don't know why I am changed. I was raised in Israel part of my life, so I'm sorry, my French accent sort of goes a few different ways. Anyway, I think we are fortified in the front. We are fortified in the back. I think we are just fine. Let's put on our heavy armor and let's go, boys.
Roger?
Yes.
We need to get our men out there on the water and at the turrets everywhere because Mehmed is on his way. I can feel him.
Oh, then we must follow your your instinct.
My instinct tells me that your friend over there is right. Mehmed is coming for my rear. And I'm going to make sure that my rear is closed to this attack. We will be solid, impenetrable. Make it happen.
We
cut to the hills outside of Constantinople, where Mehmed is gathering his forces.
Omir, Azmat,
Yeah,
Yes?
come.
gum. I love gum.
Look upon the glory that is Constantinople.
Wow.
Is that where we're going to go fight?
Oh,
Yes, this is where you will fight and beat down our Byzantine enemy and take over and rule.
I'm only 13 and I get to rule something?
Well, maybe not the entire place, but I could maybe give you a store to run.
That's so cool.
a store. That'd be amazing. Wow, a store. Can I have a store too?
We can run the store together, Osmond.
Oh, Amir, you're like the big brother I never had. I'm so happy to have met you.
Can we have candy in it, Mehmed? Can we put a candy counter?
Sure.
If I get a store where it's candy and we can, have some as well as selling some, then I'll fight all through. I don't even care how thick those walls are. I'll run right around them. I'm really fast. I'm the fastest boy I've ever seen.
Mr. Mehmed, are we going to attack them from the rear like my dad told me to?
Yes, of course.
Wait, does that mean we turn around?
We have to go around this hill to get to the rear.
Oh, that sounds smarter than going from the front. Maybe they won't even see us.
Well, the front is all water anyway. We got to walk around the back.
I can't swim, so let's do the back.
Later on in the history books, they will look at Mehmed and say, he took a chance on these youths. Perhaps it was a mistake to take lead from the children. But I believe in you. I believe that you are the future, that children are our future. And with good nutrition, you can change the world. Starting with here, Constantinople. Let us go and attack from the rear.
Yeah, let's do this. We cut to the rear battlements where Omir and Osmir have led the charge. Hey, come on, everybody! Oh, let's go, come on! Oh my gosh, there's arrows everywhere! Ah!
Oh, it's locked!
And it's so thick.
How are we gonna get through that?
I don't know, I just run really fast. That's my favorite thing. I run fast, and then I thought we'd be okay if we ran fast enough.
We never really thought what we were going to do when we got here.
What are we gonna do?
Hey, I have an idea. What if we piggyback on top of each other until we get to the top of the wall, and then we can go through?
Okay, I'll go down first. And then Omir, you get on top of my back.
Okay. Okay, I'm on there. Okay, Osmet, get on top of me, and then you go over the wall first, and then just run. Just start running.
I can't reach. We're gonna have to get some other men first. Oh yeah, can I go? Yeah, on top. You got on top of me. Now you.
Well, I can't hold this very long. You guys are heavy.
Here I come.
Climb.
Are you there yet?
Yeah, I'm on top. Here, I'll pull you up, Omir.
Thank you. Okay, I'm over too. Mehmed, Mehmed, hurry, we need a leader.
Where are you right now?
We're at the top, but we're getting attacked. We have to keep running.
What can you see?
Well, I can see a whole bunch of men that are really angry, and they keep chasing me. And there's a great big door near the bottom. I'm running for that now.
They can't catch him. He's too fast. Quick, Osmet, unlock the door.
Okay, all right, I got it. I did it. Yeah, I did it. Come on through, Mr. Mehmed, or King Mehmed. We cut to the end of the battle.
Oh, I really need to work out more. Omir, Asmat,
Yes.
have you found Constantine?
We've got him cornered. He's up in the royal palace in the top, but the men say he's just waiting to receive you.
He knew you'd be coming from the rear.
He keeps talking about he can't believe that you got into his rear.
He thought he had it protected better.
We cut to the royal palace room with Constantine. Mehmed.
Constantine.
I never thought this day would come, but this is the time, I guess, for you to rise and for me to fall. Please treat my servants, my people, as well as I have treated them. They are all good people.
I will make sure that you are treated well. Despite my reputation, it is a policy of mine to accept those who may not share the beliefs of others. I may not be able to express this very well, which is why I brought my wife with me, and perhaps she can better express what I feel.
We will do a nice job here. You don't have to worry. I love what you've done to the place. We will treat it like you would treat it, okay? And that's no Istanbul. That's my little joke.
This is humor.
She likes to joke. Yes.
Yes. I'm a very serious man, a godly man. I have created many temple to the true Christian Lord.
As I have seen with the Hagia Sophia, which
Yes.
is a beautiful, and I'm sure people from all walks of life will always be able to access it without any prohibitions.
You will keep all the frescoes, right? They are all masterpieces. I am the patron to all of the arts, and you can tell when you see the Hagia Sophia.
Oh, of course. It goes without saying. It will always be there. Yeah.
I might just do a little redecorating in the dining room, and I don't like the bathroom down in the lobby or the foyer.
Well, I suppose you have conquered me, so maybe if you keep everything the way I have it, then your reputation will be greatly enhanced, and in history they will see you as almost as great a man as I.
Well, it is something to aspire to, of course. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, don't you have somewhere to go?
Yes. I will go to my vacation home. It's pretty nice. The end.
Uh,
Oh man, that was a tough one.
I hope it was okay. What did you guys like about that?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like the kids and not focusing too much on the main rulers, but just kind of a different viewpoint and kind of the Goonies version of the conquest of Constantinople.
And I loved how Mehmed had a wife there. I was wondering how I was going to get into his chambers when you were talking to him, because I really wanted to be there. So it was that. Thanks for calling me in there.
All right, thanks so much, Shelley. That was a lot of fun. A wandering, but also very fun path to the story of the conquest of Constantinople. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
That was super fun. And I'm sure we got all of the facts perfect. I'm sure.
And we'll be right back with our esteemed history expert, Matt Roberto, right after this.
And we're back with Matt Roberto. Welcome back, Matt.
Hello. Thank you guys very much.
Familiar voice to all our listeners, and what a run you're on. You're on a roll.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I am on a roll, and I have to start this episode with a sincere apology that I believe Trent had mentioned in the last episode that I was on about Sir Francis Drake circumnavigating the world, and I had to go down that rabbit hole, and sure enough, he did. And it was after Magellan, so I was like, oh wow, look at this competition going on a long time ago, kind of like the sound barrier. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I was looking at that, and so that was a little Easter egg for the previous episode for listeners.
You can say something about my family, just don't say anything about my Sir Francis Drake knowledge.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, oh man, he did circumnavigate the world. And you had the years down right too. You were in the ballpark, if not accurate. I got to look again, but yeah, it was really cool.
Well, no worries.
Trent knows something about history.
I'm gonna play that on repeat. Yeah, but on to the next epic episode from Matt. We may have gotten a few details wrong with our version of the conquest of Constantinople. I'm guessing a street urchin was not, in fact, the hero of the battle.
Speak for yourself. That's what you think.
That's what, yeah. Don't mess with me clearly on this. I know stuff, so no, I'm guessing. But Matt, you hit us with another impressive historical event.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Mehmed II want Constantinople? Was Mehmed the primary driver of this conquest?
Yes, he's very ambitious, and obviously they've been eyeing it for a long time. But he's gonna go after it. It's interesting because when I teach this, I start out with Mehmed II. He's like 21 years old. He's really young. And he's gonna embark on this attempt to conquer the unconquerable city, and so many people have tried it. So I have to like set up the stories, and all the great empires have tried. Western Rome tried to conquer Eastern Rome. Attila the Hun, obviously being a really big one. The Rashidun Caliphate, which was really huge. That was the early caliphate that the four caliphs were a part of, that started it. That it was an empire that would be twice the size of the Roman Empire. They tried and they couldn't conquer Constantinople. So by the time we get to 1453, the idea is once they conquer this city, they're going to be able to expand their empire through trade and commerce into Europe. And that's when he begins this unbelievable attack on Constantinople. But the Byzantines get ready. They're still a factor in the world. And even though they have just this little piece of land, it is so highly desirable. And they actually employ the Venetians, who are incredible sailors, to aid them. And it becomes a holy battle too, because the Pope is like, we need to hold on to this. And of course, that's for the people, but really they need to hold on to it to control trade through the Middle East, through Africa, and through Asia. So in the end, Mehmed II goes after this incredible city with a great battle plan, and it is really something for the ages.
I think, and we're speaking to what we got right here. Trent, as Constantine, said that Constantinople was basically the center of the world. So was that basically the case?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was your trade went through there. It goes all the way back to the Roman Empire. And then when the capital moves to what was called New Rome at the time, and then Constantine will set up, I mean, that in itself is a ton of history too. He'll set up that to be the center of the Roman Empire, and then he's going to pass on. Then Rome splits again, so it goes back and forth, but it stays in the control eventually of what the Romans will be labeled as Byzantine. And if you grew up in the East, Rome never fell to them. Rome always continued. And so in the West, we say Rome fell because the western part of Rome fell, but the East kept going. In fact, they reconquered most of the Roman Empire. But when we get to 1453, so much time has passed. We've gone through major events in the world, and Constantinople is always in this story. They're always this point of reference and point of where armies will go through into Europe, and they'll supply, and they'll go into the Middle East, or people are trying to take it for its ability to control trade and connect into India, where India was starting to get really hot for European demands. And so Constantinople controls a lot of this trade. And it goes through the Middle East. It goes through, again, Asia. The Silk Road connects into there. And then Europe is now starting to blossom with its technology. And they want more and more of what is coming in from the East. And so Constantinople becomes highly desirable. And if the Turks can control it, they're going to be the most powerful empire in the world.
Yeah, by 1453, the Ottoman Empire actually surrounded Constantinople, right?
Yes, it did.
As I understand it, the Ottoman forces were much larger than Constantine's defensive forces, right? Hadn't Constantine really lost a lot of his population, a lot of his military forces?
Yeah, they'd lost a lot of that over time. So they were definitely, they were there. They were there to, it's like, if the Turks can get Constantinople and finally take this city, which his defenses were its biggest thing, then they're going to have a control of product coming from India and from present day Iran and Afghanistan and Asia, for even as far as Southeast Asia.
So those are the conditions for the conquest. What actually happened in the attack?
The whole attack is just, it's really unbelievable, the ambition and the ingenuity they use. First of all, they attack from the water, as expected, because the Byzantines call the Venetians. The Venetians are there, and they bring a formidable navy in to fight, and they battle a huge naval battle. And it goes back and forth, and you've got the technology of their day. You've got catapults. You've got guys climbing the walls, and you have the Byzantines on top of the walls, which are above the cliffs, and they're pouring hot tar. They're firing their catapults. It's incredible.
Now, is this happening though on the naval battle part, or is this only happening on the rear side?
This is happening from the front side of the war, and they can't. The Byzantine, they want to get to the northeastern side, but it's blocked by a gate, and so you have the Byzantine navy behind the gate. So they have a gate for protection. Where the gate is connected to, there's a whole mountain range, and there is a inlet that separates Constantinople from the mountain range, and that's where the Byzantine navy is at, and that's where the gate is placed in what's called the Golden Horn. And the Turks are coming in, and they can't get through that gate in the water, which is really kind of like, wow, this is brilliant. And that's only one side of the battle. And then on the land side, where you guys were really cracking me up, attacking from the rear, what they do is, this is where it's very historic. Mehmed II has the largest cannon the world has ever seen. This thing is like 70 feet long, and it's carried by I think 60 Turks, or 60 people are moving this thing, and oxen are pulling it. So you have all these oxen pulling this giant cannon. They have all their army on horseback. Then they have to stay far away from this cannon, because when this cannon fires, everybody's going to go deaf. It's so powerful, and it's built in Hungary because they're the best cannon builders. And they bring this thing in, and the Byzantines look at it, and it's like, wow, they've never seen a weapon like this. And they blow holes through the walls, and Constantinople is protected, I believe, by 3 inner walls that are huge, and they go up to about 40 feet high. And what also is really crazy is you have spies, and you have people that are very aware of what the Byzantines have. They dig underneath the walls, and they actually create a tunnel system to battle the Byzantines. And all of a sudden you have underground warfare and guys throwing old grenades at each other. And they have what was called Greek fire. They were there was actually a Muslim invention. They were flamethrowers. And they would use those underneath the ground, and they were trying to dig their way underneath the wall. They were attacking and blowing holes through the wall. And then the big one on the other side was the Turks used sheets of metal from China, and they slide it to the beaches where the mountain range is around the Golden Horn, where they can't get into. And at night, they wait for the tide to go out, and the ships sail right onto these metal sheets, and then the men pull the ships over the mountains at night and then slide the ships into the water.
Whoa.
And literally the next day, the ships are behind the Byzantines, and they're like, wow. And they fire there. And their whole intent in getting to the Golden Horn was that they know that there's a weak side to that fort. And they blow a hole through it, and they're able to scale the mountain there. So they're attacking on all three sides. It's an incredible battle.
Wow.
And then eventually what's going to happen when they blow that, when they're on the, when they get through the Golden Horn and blow that hole on the side, there's nothing the Byzantines can really do. They're down to their last, they're at the end, and they're taken. And Mehmed II now controls Constantinople.
Was that canon the difference?
Yeah, that was a huge difference right there.
So this is a major step forward in artillery, I guess.
Yes, very much so. I mean, they had taken the cannon and they built the largest one the world had ever seen. It's really crazy how big this thing was and powerful it was. Yeah.
The tactics, I mean, these are all kind of mind-blowing, like sheet metal to bring your ships up and all that kind of things. I've never heard of it used before that, after that, anything. Like, were these all largely like surprise tactics that basically the Byzantines had no idea they were going to happen? They couldn't have anticipated any of this. And is that the kind of the secret sauce that allowed Mehmed to conquer?
I believe so, because people had tried before and it's managed to hold off. I mean, you know, when I think about the Huns, the Hunnic Empire was huge, and they held them off. Of course, they make deals with hostages and say, okay, we're going to broker a peace here, but they hold them off, and they held off the Umayyad Caliphate twice, which again was an unbeatable empire at one point. And then, of course, they've held off attacks throughout history. The Mongols had their eyes on Constantinople. They got as far as Syria and as far as present-day Palestine, Israel, too. So they were definitely looking at Constantinople. But it was the unconquerable city, and so it managed to do this for a long period of time until Mehmed II had this success. And, yeah, he had a couple aces up his sleeve.
So we focused on Mehmed and his incredible military tactics and advances. How did Constantine respond? Like, how well did he do from a defensive standpoint? How much of this defeat was on Constantine?
I don't think there's much he could have done. I think that they were just so overwhelming, the Turks were, and their military forces, the technology they had, and the weapons they had. It was just a matter of time. But the idea was they could hold out, and they could hold out and still do what they've done throughout history. And I think what's so fascinating about Constantinople, it's another one of those things like the fall of the Roman Empire. We're too good to fail, or we have destiny on our side. And, you know, we've managed to escape these things in the past, so we could do it again. And this is the way we can do it. This is what we are, this is what we can pull off. And in the end, they didn't. And in the end, Mehmed II takes them.
As I understand it, Constantine, he has a lot of Christian allies in the Eastern Mediterranean, including some close relatives. So why didn't his allies supply him with more reinforcements? They're easily accessible by sea normally, right?
Yeah, he did. He had his allies, the Venetians, and their strength at this point. We're still in the Renaissance period. And definitely they're big players in the Renaissance. They just weren't enough. The Turks at this point are really strong. They have a foothold in Europe, and they do muster up allies, but it's just not enough.
What did this victory mean for Mehmed II and for the Ottoman Empire?
They're going to expand the Ottoman Empire, and they're going to develop already an extremely advanced tax system, trade system. They bring in religious tolerance into the areas, and that spreads. But they've already had that. But now they're going to welcome it, and their empire grows, and they're going to have other sultans that are going to expand the empire even further into Europe, and eventually they're going to clash with Austria. and they're going to clash more with the Venetians because they become they were already a player at the table, but now they've got a lot of leverage. But that leverage only lasts 41 years because this really spurs on Columbus and the Spanish, and the Portuguese are already going around Africa. They're already attempting to find the southernmost point of South Africa to get to India to bypass the Ottoman Turks.
You mentioned 41 years. That's a long time in a lifetime. So Mehmed's a young man then, and
yeah,
he went on to accomplish quite a bit, though, didn't he?
He did, and then he passes on. I'm trying to think of the next ruler that comes in.
Mehmed the III.
Yeah, no, I because I'm always going. I jump from here to Suleiman the Lawgiver, who's one of the most prominent figures in history for the Ottoman Empire in the East. But they eventually, Columbus discovers the Americas for the Spanish Empire, which is still, I didn't see the Spanish Empire for a unified Spain, and only recently unified. And then the Portuguese have already gotten to the Indian Ocean, and it just accelerates so quickly, and product is still desirable into Constantinople and from East Asia, but now the game has changed in 1492. Europe never looks back.
How did life change for the average people in Constantinople after the conquest? Was it more the same, different ruler kind of thing, or was it a huge change in religion? And
I think, you've always had religious tolerance there. They're going to advance as a society even further because you get this tax system. They're going to focus a lot on building infrastructure within the Ottoman Empire, the trade routes. They're going to improve those things. They're going to grow, and they're going to get even more advanced, stronger court systems, all the benefits that these type of things will bring. But eventually, like I said, Europe is going to pass it up, and of course they're going to conflict again several times.
What was the long-term impact of the fall of Constantinople?
It solidifies the culture of the Turks and of the Middle East and of North Africa into Europe, present day Europe, architecture wise, and all facets, because the Ottomans are there for so long, and they'll continue to push forward, and eventually they'll conflict with Austria at a very, very tumultuous time in Europe's history as Martin Luther is challenging the Catholic Church. And then the Ottoman Turks are making their play to expand. And so there's that long-term effect of having Constantinople. Having Constantinople is going to empower the Turks and give them a lot of more economic viability and more influence too. And of course, they always talk about this advanced tax system that's created, and distribution of wealth. And of course, they're talking about the advancements in technology and innovation. And again, that'll be kind of uncontested for a period of about 40 years. And then Spain discovering the Americas, it just changes it all so fast. And then, of course, you have the printing press. People interested in history will later see this in World War I. It's like, who's the Ottoman Empire? They're in Europe. They're in the Middle East. This is fascinating. Oh, they're part of Germany and the Central Powers. And so they're there. This is where they really plant their feet into Europe culturally, too, for a long period of time. And so the long-term effects is the history that's there today in Eastern Europe with the Ottoman influences, religion, culture we see today there. Yeah, it's been a long-lasting impact.
Big question. What did we get right in our improv history of this epic event?
The walls, the attack, like where are they going to be attacking? Like, what do you think? Like the big issues, like where do we need to fortify?
Children playing a huge factor. Yes.
I'd be in the weeds on those details. I couldn't tell you there, but they had to have been a factor. I mean, the idea of a child would be, I'm figuring adults are what, 12 years old on up at this point. What's an adolescence? It doesn't exist.
Well, Mehmed was 21. I mean,
Mehmed was
he
21.
can barely drink.
I tell my students I was trying to get into nightclubs, and this guy's taking Constantinople.
Exactly.
To put it into historical perspective.
Yeah, but could he drink a yard of ale?
I don't know either. Yeah, it's the impact is huge. You guys got that. You got the right that they were trying to defend it. I love the voices of concern because there was a lot of concern. Their attacks that they attack on all sides. So yeah.
And was Constantine as religious as I made him out to be?
I mean, they got the Venetians. They had the backing of the Pope. I'm going to assume that, he was pretty religious.
I have one final challenge for Matt here. Complete this lyric, Matt.
Uh-oh.
Why did Constantinople get the works?
Why did Constantinople get the works? I don't think I can complete that lyric.
That's nobody's business but the Turks.
I wouldn't have got that.
No, I actually researched, and Turks is offensive to some people there. So I'm torn on that one because I was like, Big Turk candy. Yeah, let's go with that. So
how are you but you need to rhyme with works though.
You do. And this was, I believe that song is Istanbul, not Constantinople in 1953 when
yes, 500th anniversary by Canadian vocal quartet The Four Lads.
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
I did not know this this love for this period, this event in history, by people. So yeah,
we get around.
Yeah, 500th anniversary. Wow, and Canadians chiming in. Interesting.
Yeah, it was the 500th anniversary of the fall of Constantinople when they wrote it. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That is so funny.
And Istanbul's only been around since 1935, I think. It was Constantinople for quite a while after.
Oh, okay.
And I visited in like 1933, so you can't really blame me.
You're looking strong for your age. Wow.
Thank you.
Lightly.
I like the cut of your jib. Well, thanks so much, Matt, for another enlightening expert interview. We really appreciate it. And another great historical event.
Huge.
Thanks for bringing that to us.
All right. You guys are welcome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And just like anything in this, in history, I'm learning too. So I enjoy this a lot. And it's a blast. And I love talking about these events, obviously. So I could go on all day.
And that was History Improv'ed. Hope you all feel enlightened. I know I do. Trent, what do you think?
There's a slightly brighter light in my brain now, thanks to Matt and this historical event.
Yes, very interesting. I had mentioned that I knew the ramifications. Now I feel like I didn't really know much of anything.
This is the whole point of our podcast, Steve.
That's true.
We go in with some kind of ego. We know some things, and then we find out, no, we don't. We just think we know some things.
Yeah. So what little we know is even not that much.
Yeah. Like if this event is a big bowl of hummus, then we would be like, our knowledge would be the little parsley sprigs on top.
Right. That people kind of scrape off to the side.
That's right. That's we are the parsley thrown aside at the party. We were talking about things we got right as well. So I was going to say, another thing we got right was the years of growing danger to Constantinople from the Ottoman Empire that surrounded it. Like you look at a map from back then, and there's just this tiny little different color for Constantinople. And then the Ottoman Empire is like all around it.
Oh, yeah.
So the effort they put into reinforcing the walls, protecting the land side, that was also right.
Mm-hmm.
And as you, as Roger, got the declining fortunes of Constantinople right.
Right, because the French always get it right completely, right?
Maybe don't talk to an Algerian about that. But I am a bit of a Francophile myself. I do like a lot of the things they've done, but yeah, there's some missteps for all of us in life, and the French have had a few missteps.
But you did need to learn the language growing up, right?
When I learned French, most of it after a really strong start of a year of immersion when I was like 4 years old, and my teacher in elementary school was supposed to be teaching me in English, but she taught me in French. After that, I had nobody to practice with, but I would watch hockey games in French because I couldn't get them in English. I was close to Montreal. So I should know. Chien chaud, bière froid, le but. That's hot dog, cold beer, he scores, or the goal. And that's the classic thing that you'd hear kind of thing for a guy, if you were at the Forum, the old Montreal Forum, watching the Montreal Canadiens play. It's one of my favorite things to say.
Well, dear listener, would you put hummus on a hot dog? Let us know at hello@historyimproved.com. That's spelled historyimproved.com. And to find out more about us, check out our website, historyimproved.com.
If you like the episode, please share it with someone you think might enjoy it. And please subscribe, rate, and review the show. It actually really helps us get out to more people.
Yes, we get more listeners that way.
And don't forget to ask your oldest relatives to tell you some family history. Do you want me to say my little thing? And
your little thing? Historyimproved.com. That's spelled, yes.
And Steve, you got another excellent guest improviser. That's not good.
I knew the ramifications. Now I don't think I know as much. Let me try that again.
No.